we get for do things that way people they see more and we get the feel and touch. Because I think that they're important. So in the next 2 years, we go look forward to now for see more teachers being recruited, more nurses being recruited. We get to see the completion of the expansion of the Lunge International Airport. We also get to see the completion of the ultra modern hospital within the village in Kerry Town. We go also look for see increased production in terms of food and rice because of the 54 million project Narumbe and the 64 million project of Tomabom. We go also get for the CC, we get the good impact of the MCC compact development that in the next 2 years, I think, say we don't go far ahead with our day. We go also importantly see the establishment of the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion don't take footing as well. Nice. And then the electrification of the districts them back as well, with the Minister of Energy do. So there is hope. Okay. And people have to be assured, say, this now president we care about them, and president we think, say, in a servant of the people, and want for work for them.
Yes, subscribe. You always the watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All waiting you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. It don't done. It no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you the support we for make we do more. Thank you for your help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.
Alright, we dey continue the program Good Monin Salone. If people can remember, inside April 2018, after the general elections, President Bio be win the total votes we make him president for the Republic of Salone. Well, from April 2018 to now 3 years exactly where he don't be president. And as people can remember, during any election, the candidates them can get then documents where they can call the manifestos and they put all the things them where them promise and then plan for do for the country. And after that, they then become presidents and they begin implement some of them things there. So President Bio, from the time we be president, so now don't they do some of the things them where it's been promised Salone people them inside in New Direction manifesto. After 3 years we don't be president, we see you inside last week also he go around different media host them and talk to Salone people but the thing them way he feel say he don't do for develop the country. And later a town hall meeting also he continue for explain but some party thing them. Well, after all the explanation then today at the program we get the press secretary when I Yusuf Keketoma Sandi where they can tell we some of the things that we don't left for the president supposed for do inside the next 2 years we don't left for in term of office. Good morning one more time, Mr. Sandi, and welcome again to the program Good Monin Salone.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Fambolem, where they listen to me. And then thanks for having me.
All right, before we can look at waiting President Biogo do inside in 2 years, we don't left for him as president of the Republic of Salone. Let we go back to the media tour them where the president's been do and serve the town hall meeting. So far, after the media tour them day in the town hall meeting, I believe say you not possibly interact with the people. What kind of impact you feel say that media tour day being caused to the people and waiting at some of the feedback where the president be get from Salone people them after in 3 years where it don't be president for the people them?
Well, thank you very much again once again, Khadija. I think say the feedback from the people across the country has been very commendable. Them praise the president because you know democracy sometimes na thing we very challenging for making get head of state for subject himself to scrutiny because most people way you know in the past when they see president head of state you know they think say this person here they use power per smack, so therefore, in a degree, make a subject itself to scrutiny. But we get a president we believe say that a very sincere in the leadership of this country. He feels say in a servant of the people. He also honest with the challenges that this country face. But over and beyond that, we get a president we modest about the achievements that we don't make, and then as part of your responsibility as guardian of the Constitution, he also believes in Section 11 of the Constitution, where give the media the obligation for all government accountable on behalf of the people. That's something we sacrosanct, we for keep. So people that they ask say, in fact, who said this idea come up for the president come out for cattle to people? This idea come up from president in safe. Because where president, there are many things the way you oversee, many things the way they give directives for do. But then most times people not can understand waiting they go through the president's mind when they take certain decisions them. For instance, the free quality education. Waiting at that point in time, waiting go in mind. How president they connect with some of the programs and some of the issues them. So for instance, we'll go even in the town hall where Uma will ask them say about facilities for cancer patients. You hear waiting president say in my mother of cancer. So he tell you say this na president's way, everything way they do, a very intentional, a very connected with those issues. And I feel say this way president do now a very good legacy for succeeding president they will get for after them. So then go understand say there is a responsibility where they can get say from time to time they go engage people them on waiting they do in our office. And I think say this for all of us, na good thing. And also you don't also continue to set the good example for sure say every public officer you for subject yourself to media scrutiny and public scrutiny. And I think say now one of the big lessons them. And like I said to you, across the board, I get friends in our APC, I get friends in our NGC, they are all commendable. Yes, obviously because of the politics, then go disagree and they go see things differently. But what they all say, if this kind of way presidents Bio act and behave, if now so other presidents them before and don't they do, they say this country if we don't move forward.
Like I stated earlier, after the media told them last week when the president be do the conversation within a different platform, them everybody they give out your opinion as to the bold step where the president take for face the people who been voted in. One common one among them now that the president make this tour for debunk most of the allegations them where they out there, especially the one them we get for do with alleged corruption on the office and that of INWEF. And safe other issues them when they come up around the free quality education when His Excellency in flagship program. Many people believe say the free quality education is there, but the quality aspect of them not they part of the program. And this now some of the questions them will be come up during the president's immediate tour, and we see make attempts for debunk some of them. Now to say the president himself come out for debunk some of the allegation there.
No, that's not complete lie, false, and a misrepresentation. President family believes, like I tell you, say, that the role of the media for all governments accountable. Since presidents don't come off in office to now, there are many achievements that we don't make. There are many things that we don't do. And we believe, say, president want connect with the people them for make sure say they understand, like I tell you say, at every point in time, what they think before any policy. So president not come on a do for come defend allegations, for come talk about corruptions or anything.
But talk about them.
Yes, but not to the purpose than the way come
now,
for.
Now the topical issues that will be come up during in media rounds,
No,
during
those were issues which were raised by the media. Okay? Presidents will come out, he talk about a lot of things. Talk about the MCC, talk about how they look at the fight against corruption, And like president don't say, even way in 98.1, talk very clear. He said, in a credence to allegations that were born out of political malice. Because we get a country where we have institutions. So we have the ACC, we have the audit service. So we get institutions that were able to determine accountability issues. And I think, say, any allegation where we don't come before now, for instance, you make mention about President the First Lady. We see before now, even before presidents come, the Ministry of Finance, they don't issue out a press release where don't detail what's happened with the account where they create, how they create the account, and for which purpose. So it tells you, say, this now a government way very responsive, but this also a government way feel say, you're not able to blackmail any person in a public office. You're not going to blackmail the president, you're not going to blackmail the first lady, anybody. Because whatever we do them based on the law. We do them based on facts. And because of that, we're very confident in what we do. So the reason where presidents come, out of defend anybody for allegations. Now, just for can tell people and say, yes, 3 years, we don't elect me.
You make attempts for defending your wife.
Well, una ask a question. He respond. And he respond, I will tell you, say, for instance, what anybody can make allegation against Khadija, but then there is always presumption of innocence by the law. It means say you innocent until you proven guilty. But what does it also mean? It also means, say, for instance, I hear me brother Thomas More talk yesterday, say, president, for instance, has been silent on people away corrupt within the government. But this is not the same precedent way when there were issues regarding Chinese guys. What does say the public be know? President in safe. Now he say, okay, I don't get this information before me. Make we set aside, for the very first time, make we set aside this minister and deputy minister, make ACC, they investigate this matter. So this is a precedent where he has always led by example, and he always don't mean what he say. And I think, say, we all for comment on for that one day.
So before the president, they come out and can talk for himself to Salone people and as to how they don't handle in administration inside the past 3 years. We don't get professional heads implementing agencies. They come to the studio. They explain how they implement government policies themselves, other things them under the same administration. With all the media rounds where the president do and the town hall meeting where he crown it all up with. Una the team we organize for let the president really reach out to the people and convince he really be able for address the issues them as the people expect them.
Yeah, of course. Like I said to you, the president before he come, he wants he do one simple thing. He wants for engage people on the many things that we don't do. But also in the midst of all of that, he has always been very modest in the achievement. Because he say, development is happy overnight. Now a process. And we, with the team, and even the president believes, say, that message, it resonates with Boku people. Because I make it tell you, say, for instance, countries like USA, UK, not so overnight, they take centuries for develop. So what team don't do, that for make sure, say, even with the enormity of the challenges the way in it, we don't start for lay the solid foundation. Because, for instance, I go tell you maybe.
Just a quick one.
I just say this.
President Bio during the campaign, he tells Salone people and say, he know the issues, he know the problems. So if the people vote for him, it hits the ground running.
Yeah.
So why not after 3 years, the president they can tell the people and say, he just begin to identify the problems?
No, the president never said that. Say now after 3 years he identified the problems there. He never said that. He hits the ground running. You don't make a point. He hits the ground running from the very first time when we can remember. Say as he come, they issue 2 executive orders. One for make we increase revenue mobilization. The second one for control expenditure. So this is not president even before he come. In fact, people don't say since the president come in office before now, all succeeding presidents. This has been the most experienced person wherever hold office, where before he come, he don't get so much enormous experience before he can there. Because to enforce them this way don't come. So you don't get the benefit of hindsight. When he come, in 4 months, he launched the biggest human capital development program with Africa to education. So this is the president's way for make I don't hit the gun running. But what did he do? Now he himself talk say, when he come, like when you do out of governance, you get manifesto. This manifesto, you make promises and pledges. But then when you take up office, you then now see the depth, the enormity of the issues, how big and the scale where they. And therefore, you look back and say, okay, let me now get programs and activities then for now align because of the depth of things they will commit. So, that is exactly what the president will do.
But then programs, then they already did at the manifesto. We campaign with.
Yes.
Now, based on the manifesto programs, then it hits the ground running.
Yes. But what you point where they make, you say, now, how we can identify the issue. You don't identify the issues them already. Where it come, physically now we don't, they look at the depth, the enormity, how big then they. So, for instance, if all they say 98.1, I go think say on a newsroom is small because of the window. But what can inside there say, no, this window outside is small, but inside the space very big. That's exactly what you don't do.
So now based on assumption, the president be the campaign, you know, been really know waiting the governance been the bots.
Yeah, but if you don't know waiting governance be there for how you put manifesto together.
But you say not be know the depth of the issue.
Yes, but the depth of the issue is different from narrating governance there about. The depth of the issue simply means say you understand how bad the thing be there. So if you know say definitely before you come, you understand, we get huge public debt. But you definitely not gonna say it into trillions. That's exactly some of the issues then. But even over and beyond that, the points I will make, now for just tell you, see, this now president's way, like I said before, many people don't they say, before now, you don't ever get a president who don't deal like this president before he can office. So experience, and even on the manifesto, we all don't achieve about 28 out of 38 promises they will make. So he tell you, say...
Complete achievements?
Well, some of them are completed, some of them are in the pipeline. But then, the point what they make is that for instance, let's take the part 5 of the Public Order Act. Succeeding president them before him. This now like almost like a taboo issue. Then go promise, then go afraid, then go this. But you get somebody who come, we say, no, me, I believe in press freedom. Me, I believe, say, for make democracy change and nourish, we get for make sure, say, people then get the space for express themselves freely. We pull part 5 of the Public Order Act. So those are bold initiatives that the president don't do. So, where I think, say, as part of a message, nothing they want to people them. But let us just add one thing, maybe. You know, if not any other president, any side of this sub-region, what this president don't do in 3 years, I tell me free and the other day, say, they don't declare 7 days just for celebrate. Because I'll give you one simple comparison. Let's take, for instance, Rwanda. Now, they start the MCC in 2004, but then President Kagame came in 2000. It don't take my office over 20 years. But up till now, Rwanda still not able to get eligible for made they select them for the compact after almost 20 years in office. The president only don't take 3 years in office. We don't get eligibility for compact. But you know, only stop there. We are spending 200% more than Rwanda just on primary education.
Keke,
yes.
You make mention of the president in statements where he been talked during the campaign, say it hits the ground running. And indeed, according to you, say the president hits the ground running based on some of his programs, them way he be aligned under the new direction manifesto where he starts for implement, so he become president. Some of them programs there, let's take you to the one we get for do with the economic policies them within the new direction manifesto. Immediately we then declare him as president to see side through the Ministry of Finance, then put together fiscal policies them where with the hopes they then go able to tackle the economic problems. 3 years down the line with implementing some of them programs there and then fiscal policies there. So the economy of Salone is still a challenge. Exchange rates still they go up in order for stable rates. So with all them things there, so you want to tell Salone people as some of them programs they are the new direction manifesto and the additional fiscal policies the way His Excellency and in team puts together, they work well.
Of course they work well.
If then they work well, where the result?
Well, I'll give you the result. You ask a question, I'll give you the result.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, when we take over, you always get to remember, say, we take over with lots of issues with the economy. For instance, all the donor partners them, where they support this country, many of them, they don't abandon Sierra Leone. They don't abandon Sierra Leone because the previous government, they don't lost faith in them in terms of how they handle the economy, in terms of corruption. So the very first thing you for do, now for making sure you restore confidence, for then donors and for me then come back. So effectively now do. So for instance, if you want to get COVID, they are still paying people on time. We still able to make sure say we meet with challenges them at the budget, you understand? Because donors then get confidence in this government. Say, one, we're economically prudent. Also, we're serious about the fight against corruption. But you don't really stop there. Because many times when you talk about NTR, you talk about the bread and butter issue. You go and say, for instance, the price of rice don't go up, the price of sugar don't go up. But it's not just in Sierra Leone, it happens all over the world. So I'll give you a small example about Nigeria. In 2018 in Nigeria, a bag of 50 kilograms of rice.
We don't have to compare Salone economy and that of Nigeria. Nigeria far way bigger than Salone.
So the point I make that the fact say, in 2018, you know they expect say the same price then go day 2018 and then go day now. So I'll give you an example. A bag of rice in Nigeria, 50 kilograms, was about 13,000 naira. We're at $33.
Why you want
now
to
2021?
No,
No,
Mr. Sandy, why you want to draw the discussion to that of Nigeria? Where you know they compare the economy with Salone. They talk about the issues them where presidents be campaign on, and he become president 3 years along the line. What he don't do for reflect on them promises that they will make. Not on Nigeria, what they talk about.
No, so I make Nigeria because for make you able to understand the issues, you get to get a comparative case with other countries. You know they're able to just talk, say, oh, price they go up in the market, sugar they go up in the market.
But during campaigns and not be they comparing issues and they will...
No. What you talk about, then I tell you, say, the enormity of the problems, the way you come it. You understand? Now you get to understand. But nothing not static. 3 years No world price not the way static. In the UK, in the US,
Now,
so
the
I just
issue
want
of
to give
price
example.
control come inside.
But yes, not a government policy for control price. Now 1950 thinking, now 1990 Stone Age thinking, now the government not get responsibility for control price.
Alright.
So I be just want to tell you, say, in 2018, a bag of 50 kilo rice in Nigeria was 13,000 naira. Now in 2021, the same bag of rice at 28,000 naira, like $70.
Okay.
That's about 700,000 at Sierra Leone. You understand? Even at Sierra Leone stage, we are doing far less than what in Nigeria they pay for a 50 kilo bag of rice.
We will come back to you, Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, in the press sector in the State House.
Yes, subscribe. You always dey watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wetin you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. E don done. E no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you dey support we for make we do more. Thank you for we don help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.
Right, we continue the program Good Monin Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the press sector in a State House, Yusuf Keketoma Sandi in the studio. As earlier tell una say today na the program, Ego can tell Salone people them waiting the president's plan for the inside in next 2 years we don't left from the 5 years mandate where Salone people have been given where them vote for and for become president inside 2018. Mr. Sandi, now let's talk about the issues that will make you kaya, or don't look at some of the reaction that will come out from the media tour and the town hall meeting where President Bio been doing inside last week. Now, 2 years don't left for the president ahead of the 2023 general elections. Let we go back to some of the highlights them. Now the New Direction Manifesto, where it be used for campaign, say if the people then vote for and some of them things then they can work with. The area of corruption, now one of the highlights them, education of course, now in flagship program, stabilizing the economy again, now one will be emphasized on. Let we take corruption. 3 years, now one of the things then and the way people and don't they talk about, say the president, not on two, they do things them for fed corruption. We don't they see publication of alleged corruption, don't they come out from the president in your office itself. So if it declare a war on corruption, but still 3 years challenges, then still they, as you said, go agree. In the next 2 years, what think will be the next step in the area of corruption?
Well, I think even when the president come, so the first thing I tell you, say we get the president to be honest about the challenges we face. When they do the media tour, then they ask and say, you happy about the old on fed corruption so far? Now I say no. I say because we can do more. But even in the midst of that, like I say, now presidents we modest about achievement. Even when we're not happy about what we do about corruption, we are doing exceptionally well as a country. You understand? Because, like I say again, you get people in way they assess Sierra Leone at every stage where they go with the fight against corruption. We get the MCC. When president take over, we'll be there about 49%. Now we're about 81%, you know. So it means say we don't leapfrog. We don't do things the way we don't show leadership, we don't show commitment, Transparency International, when they pull them index, they report them, and they rate we very highly. The Afro barometer, where they ask people about the views about corruption, you know, now it's very favorable. So it means say it is a work in progress. Now, like I say, are there things that we can do more? Of course, yes. You know, we get for increase the awareness because the presidency, corruption is so crucial that even for let investor come, for can invest in a country, a get for no say this not a country not a rogue state, not a country corrupt. Because the one for me they assure themselves, say, if they can't put the money in a country, the money not just go through by corruptment, you know. So in the next 2 years, we get for increase the temporal effect. We get for make sure say that we support the ACC because, like I say again, Mr. Francis Ben Kelfana, ACC is doing a very great job for a young man with all the challenges. Yes, there will be times where, people don't politicize everything. So everything will come up, and people they make allegations based on politics, based on smear campaign. But if you get an institution like the ACC, where just for the react to where anybody put in the social media, no problem. Because by tomorrow, if you're in a public office, maybe let go take, say for instance, you go take money on side. But if you not get any allegation where meet the threshold, so let's just say one thing. Because even yesterday, where my brother Thomas Modi he talk about the case for Honorable Timbo. Info no, he ought to know better. Say when you get any criminal charge against any person, the evidence get from a certain threshold. Because for make you get take person and make sure say they get criminal conviction against somebody, now right they for deprive them of. But if you not meet that threshold, there is nothing people are able to do. You need to manufacture evidence.
So even though we look at the way forward now for the balanced 2 year we don't left for President Bio in 5 year term in office, for really make clear the people, apart from excuses where we don't hear inside the past year about Rome was not built in a day, the government inherits a very bad economy since independence to now and all of that. Waiting really inside this 3 year, you go point out, say, Salone people and for no say the president don't completely do this as per what been promised. Apart from the one that within the pipeline, we not complete it. Waiting don't complete.
But the biggest thing is the free quality education.
It don't complete.
Yeah, but when presidents come, we say they do the program in phases. Okay. Now, people and they say, oh, presidents will come, he rush for do harm, he do for this. But this is because this is where his heart was. Okay? When presidents come, we do the free quality education. We don't get so much impact. So, for instance, now, like president they said the other day, if you know parents, we get 3 picking, you they save probably say 1.5 million and then continue there. But even the Public Order Act Part 5, we don't repeal them.
And come up with
this
cyber
taboo.
crime
No,
bill,
but
way worse pattern.
No, so in every democracy, the process of promulgating laws, now a process where they start from cabinet then go to law officers for put the draft bill together at go parliament. It's a process where you consult at every point in time. And it is good for our democracy that you get a government when the one put bill in a parliament, when there are concerns, there are issues, whether it's from the bar situation or from other stakeholders, this like government where they listen and then they engage.
So out of the 38, now the criminal libel law no more complete?
The criminal libel law no more complete?
Yes.
No, but there are things that way we don't do it complete. So like
so now that's a slate tell people remind them of waiting don't complete.
So I don't tell you say when we come, okay, part of waiting the president always want for do. Now for make sure say the manifesto think the way it promised, you understand? Whether, for instance, now for fiscal management of the economy. So, for instance, increase revenue mobilization. Okay? Who come, the way how the revenue mobilization be there, and now, it was different. You understand? That is something, again, we don't do way, that's something where they go on and on and on. So, like waiting president don't say, most of waiting we don't come for can do, nothing they don't lay the foundation. But there are things the way, definitely because they're so big and huge. Say, for instance, one diversify the economy. Okay? Now, we are investing a lot in agriculture. Okay? We'll get the Rombe project, we'll do under when 54 million put local. We get the Tomabon project under, but things will not happen overnight.
All in their way they talk about, Mr. Sandi, the issue now where most people them get, now how they reflect into the lives of the people, not of just for let it left as policy document or a particular statement where His Excellency don't make, we just the na black and white. Reducing the suffering from Sierra Leone people. Now one statement that the way be emphasized on 3 years and now 2 years don't left for them. The people and still get issues.
Yes, but we don't take concrete actions. So let's give another example.
Waiting at these concrete actions.
So for instance, when we come, pensioners there, they may get 25,000 loans. Now they get 250,000 loans. Yes, you go smile, you look at the cardboard. Believe you me, if you not be pensioner Khadija, where you wake in the morning, all where you look forward to every month, that 25,000 loans. By now you for value them, you for take them serious. Because that 250,000 loans now, where pensioner they get, they able to make sure say they get good thing for it. It make sure say he able to take care of small thing them because of your age.
That new
but
direction,
not only stop
the new direction where President Bio been promised Salone people them, it clearly shows say 3 years now the people don't see the new direction. It's 2 years don't left. how soon the people them go see this new direction where go put smiles na the ordinary people in face?
Well, it better. I don't know who people away they say not see new direction it. Sometimes you not see new direction it. But across the country, people are not seeing new direction. Across the country, in far remote areas, them who start picking them the day, we know they go school because they know they eat. Now government is having a program for school feeding. We're picking them they go school. Like I said, Part 5 of the Public Order Act, that's a new direction. Because this was something where previous government and previous president they promised, they never delivered. Right. So new direction, it's all over the place. We they even say internationally safe, Sierra Leone with reputation, they increase so much. Now, they want to associate Sierra Leone again to corruption. Now they're going to associate Sierra Leone again to the bad things then. So that is also part of the rebranding process. Right. And it's a process in going. So for me, the new direction, you don't see them. But for instance, you the mistake say you don't see it.
Continue for the with the program. We'll come back to you, Yusuf Keketoma Sandi.
Yes, subscribe. You always the watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wait you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. And done. And no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you the support we for make we do more. Thank you for your help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.
The program Good Monin Salone they continue, and we still get Yusuf Keketoma Sandi in the studio, Presidential Secretary. They are this morning for tell we the way forward. Inside the balance 2 years we don't left under President's Bureau in 5-year term na office. So we don't talk about different issues them earlier, but outside the country don't come out and outside we they now. And as we they continue for look forward to seeing them where the president be don't promise inside manifesto and during the campaign days them before he come na office. 2 years and I don't left now inside the president in administration. Under this 2 years, inside the 2 years we don't left. Salone people go get for see apart from paperwork. The Lunge Bridge, for example, where the president been really don't promise people enough. Inside this balance 2 years, apart from paperwork, Salone people get for see anything in that direction?
Well, you know, governance, you start from paperwork and then you go to the field. Okay? So, for instance, Khadija, they talk about, you know, new direction. 5,000 more teachers, 4,000 more nurses, you know. And then so German, the last budget will do, we increase them salary by 25%. People in the civil service, we increase them salary by 30%, you know. So, beyond the paperwork, if you go right across the country, you go upline, you go see, say, even rural electrification, they are not electrifying 7 districts, Kabbalah, Kambia, Moyamba, Kailaon, Pujon, Bont, and Matru.
So back to the bridge. The Lunge Bridge I asked in specific. Salone people go for see the field work of them.
We don't start the process. Before presidents come, you know, ever promised a manifesto say would they build Lunge Bridge. Okay? We don't start the process. And it's going to be a very big infrastructural commitment.
When?
They don't already do some of the feasibility studies. They don't tell you how it for cost. And
all that will happen.
Small technical projects. I'm not going to able to tell you when because like the president always don't say we're not government, we know the lie.
You're not able to tell we when, Mr. Sandi,
yes.
But we get the possible responsible for infrastructure under the president in office, Dr. Tambi. We been come now studio yaso and give a specific time, say January, the bridge go start. But up till now, nothing like that's not beginning it.
Okay. So 2021, okay, the bridge. Before even they talk about we done government of Union for making sure government commitment. Now we pay for make them do the feasibility studies.
Not to like so money will come on your pockets, not taxpayers' money.
It not come out, but it tell you about the commitments where governments get towards the project. Okay, government I will do the feasibility studies. Okay, for make like you know governance not to just for on a studio and talk. It's a process. Okay, for make you implement anything, I come. For make you implement anything. It starts from paperwork, policies. That policy there, you can go cabinet. From cabinet, We come cabinet, if a something they go for do about law, then can go law officers, then can go parliament. So there is a process.
But
Now,
this
so
bridge
every day-
they
no, at the
talk
camp.
about.
No, with the
The
camp.
bridge they talk
No,
about.
at the
They don't pass all the stages.
Yes, so I be the
because the last time we Dr. Tambi Kaya can give updates. We even ask him questions if you don't go through parliament and all. They don't pass through all the stages. Then they even give time, say January, the implementation they start. That's not the question where I ask.
The bridge not go through parliament. Dr. Tambi not go ever tell you say the bridge don't go through parliament. You see, so part of the problem we they get in the studio, they make certain things that be factually inaccurate.
So now that make
No,
they ask
they
you for
can't.
answer.
No,
Who
but wait.
stage now where the process dey? You tell people
I
where
they
they
tell you
listen.
stage day.
Who
But
stage
let
dey?
get and clear for say. Let we left for the make things that be factually inaccurate.
Nobody
so
know
the
they say
process
things
no.
that we
You
know
dey
way
misquote
inaccurate
Dr. Tambi.
na ya.
At the camp.
Now, me self interview
Yes,
Dr.
but you
Tambi
dey
na
misquote
this studio.
Dr. Tambi. I'll tell you
I know
say.
they misquote anything.
But you not ever tell you say
Exactly
the
what he
bridge.
say,
No,
now they tell
no.
you so, Mr. Sandy.
So show me the evidence. Play the clip. Tambi
tell
not go
me
ever
who
tell you
stage
say
it dey now?
it don't go parliament.
Who
The
stage
stage
it
where
dey?
it dey now. Firstly, government we don't invest, put money for the visibility studies. That report we don't present to president. Now, cabinet. From cabinet, and then part of that discussion they concurrently that for local people we can invest in the bridge. Already discussion don't go far ahead of it. Okay? Also we dey now for God to make sure say we wrap up the cabinet work by the paper, and after that one day, and then we go look for when, for instance, for commission and see when it will start.
So now get
But-
targets as to when una dey work towards for start the field work.
As I tell you, as I did na yeah, I'm not go able to tell you the timeline. But what I go tell you, say, also now they at a far advanced stage. And the far advanced stage you dey, now the fact say cabinet don't already look at the Lunga Bridge as a project, and therefore there's overwhelming support of the project. But I'm not going to tell you now, I tell you say
not go able-
it go start next week.
You know, we will
understand?
tell listeners them the timeline, but 2 years don't left for President Bio. This project where it make pronouncement say it will make bridge, the Lunge Bridge, achievable before the 5 years mandate expire.
What me go tell you, I go tell you say, as a government, as the infrastructure man, as the president, you understand, there is overwhelming support for make the bridge happen. We don't go at an advanced stage. Whether the bridge will do the commissioning tomorrow, next tomorrow, I'm not going to tell you now, but I go tell you say, cabinet don't look into them, there is support, they don't get support, you understand? We don't begin try for advanced stage for mobilize resources for the bridge, you understand? But it not go parliament it. Because when you go parliament now, other process that one day, you know. So it's not just the paperwork. Right. We're in a government, we do things there for my people and see physically.
All right. So moving from that stage of the bridge where you just don't conclude, say, you know, get specific term for tell we say go start today or tomorrow. Also, other thing them ways salon people be done they look forward to as per the promise with the president make we can get for do it. The bakery for the braid, the lab for the forensic lab for especially victims of rape. Waiting at the status of them two things in there.
For instance, let me start with the forensic lab. Okay? Now, again, the intention behind all of that, my intention for me say, the forensic lab will do enormous support for make sure say we prosecute. Because remember, say, this now the first president where established sexual model courts for people who commit sexual offenses. Okay? Now, forget the forensic lab, a capital intensive, na money. Okay? If you're a president within 98.1, it talks say, he go and do everything overnight. So he even make reference where Uma with a joke. Say he go one for transform with health service into NHS in England, but he not getting money. Okay? So we are having discussions with international partners for the forensic lab. As and when that discussion they materialize, or get them. What I'm not going to do today, now for tell you say there is any timeline where we go do bridge for commission the bridge. I'm not going to tell you say forensic lab will come tomorrow because even the president, those are information we not going to specify them.
So the
But
lab
there is commitment about it.
the lab in been tied to proceeds where they come from corruption, and already we don't hear of billions of leons where the ACC commissioner be don't go left to the president as signed for show say they really don't get some proceeds. Waiting at the amounts where the government need for purchase this particular diagnostic lab we talk about, because already money be don't begin they can when I been tied to say now they use specifically for let them purchase them.
Well, I think we also the conflict two things.
Waiting.
Okay. the forensic lab is different from the diagnostic center.
That forensic lab,
yes.
now at the top, but where it been tied to the proceeds from corruption.
So it not tied to the proceeds of corruption.
It been say the money where they come from then they use them for do that.
Maybe. Let me say the problem we'll get at the studio where they say things were factually inaccurate. What in presidency was that the diagnostic center, where you do all them diagnostics and then test the 9, the seed money where would they get from anti-corruption, now they use for make we start that process there. But the challenge is, what would not accrue from the proceeds from anti-corruption, the non-conviction asset recovery base, is not enough for make we start the process.
So how much we need?
Okay. I'm not going to tell you on top of my head the exact money we will need. You understand? But all I can tell you, quitting presidency, the money we will get from the process that we don't get so far is not enough for make we start the process. So then they're different from the forensic lab. Because the forensic lab, remember, say the only way president talk about them, now in the context of the fight against sexual-based violence. And that forensic lab there, now lab we go to use for aid the prosecution. So for instance, like when you don't set up the sexual offences court, when you want to prosecute people, they need evidence. Forget that evidence there, then go for use that forensic lab there, forget team them for me able help the prosecution for sure say, then connect this person where now the alleged commit this crime to the offense.
Okay, you know, it will give listener the timeline for let the president really do all the things that we don't make pronouncements say it go do. For example, the Lunge Bridge and save the diagnostic center where it been talk say from proceeds so they come out from in the fight against corruption. Now they use them for Bilam. And them pronouncements are where the president don't make. Una where say it in the minds of Salone people. 2 years dollar for His Excellency. For like in 5 years mandate, so they began in 2018 done. Up till now, you dare the talk for the president, no able to give Sierra Leone and the timeline.
Well, because if you also understand, say, you forget trust and assurance in this president. Because like I always take you back, this now a president where he promised for repeal Part 5 of the Public Order Act.
Let we forget about that. It don't repeal them. It don't repeal them, Keke.
No, Khadija, wait,
let we
listen.
not try for reverse the conversation
Khadija,
back.
no,
You don't talk
Khadija.
about the Part 5 of the Public Order Act where His Excellency repeal. Kudos to him, that side. Let we talk about the other pronouncement, the way it don't make to Salone people. You know, able to give the listeners the way they listen to you now a timeline as to when the project then go start. Now the question and they will ask you.
So what are they explain to you, make you understand? Now the facts say, one, I know give you timeline now because I know get timeline. Okay, it's as simple as that. But also, secondly, I they tell you say the people of this country for be assured say this na president, na talk and do president. Anything talk, it they do am. Okay, and I they make an example of something. That is why I carry the Part 5 of the Public Order Act. Because this was something where in predecessors them, then talk am, then promise and not do am. But this president, he talk am and he do am. So then therefore I assure you, say, if the president tell you, say, he go do something, believe you me, this president, the president believes say,
so who said they do the bread
he
factory?
go deliver am.
The bread factory, who's time they deliver them?
Like I say, again, I'm not going to tell you, say, and they begin for bake bread tomorrow. But what I go tell you, now that all of these issues at an advanced process, an advanced stage. You know, governance.
So, like in an advanced stage, you dey plan for something before you roll them out. So, if you're in an advanced stage, it means on a don't get targets as to say, from now to so time, we want let them begin bake the bread them. So now that's what they ask, when the bread factory they really begin work.
Now I tell you, what I tell you, say, I'm not going to tell you, say, bread factory will begin work next week Monday. But what I go tell you, say, this like government, we're credible on what they say. And everything we don't say, we president don't say it go do, it do am.
Right,
so I want to take you to examples them.
Let we
even wait.
The area where you know able give listener them timeline as to when the pronouncement the way the president be don't make when it go starts. Let bring you now to the sectorial level. Transportation and energy. Now challenge right now, especially in the capital city, Pretoria, so where people them don't they raise concern about energy and transportation. Now that particular sector day, in 2 years we don't left for the president, how President Bio plan for improve the area of energy and transportation?
So for instance, transportation, we know say already we don't do procurement process for 200 buses. Okay? And then 200 buses, then the procurement, if you don't done, and they can make the bus there. You understand? So the point why they make like this, that you get a government where care about ordinary people. So it's not just for subject itself to public scrutiny, but we think, say, we are laying the foundation and get structures. So on transportation, yes, it's difficult, it's challenging in the Western area, okay? But how we do them? We go only do them for more make sure say we get increased buses and get good infrastructure. So already procurements don't happen for 200 buses. That is one. Then energy, okay? We are paying huge amounts of money with the car power. But you can also remember, say, we get to look back upon the car power agreement, okay? For make sure, say, a day in the interest of Sierra Leone and save a lot of money from that one day. So what will they do now? Areas them Usai no be get transmitter over 200 years. Only this government, only under the leadership of Alhaji Kanja Sise.
Now existing projects then that one.
Yes, no, but not existing project. What will they say is, you talk about Western area, about light. So are they give you tangibles? Because most of them what they say na paper. No, we don't come up paper. Paper na the policy way they start. Now they go to the field. Okay? Right. We also they try for make sure say beyond the infrastructure there, we they see what's in rampant lately. Now Western area, that people let they go to the transmitter, then the infrastructure there, then they cut and then the thief. So Sandi, down there all, naturally they drag we be.
We get for all you day first.
Yes, subscribe. You always the watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wait till you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. So the bell option, press this one with all. And done. And no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you the support we for make we do more. Thank you for we do help we for share this program. Yeah! God bless you.
We continue with the program Good Monin Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We still get Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, when at the press secretary in the State House, as we look at the balance 2 years we don't left for President Bio in 5 years mandate where the people of Sierra Leone began inside 2018. Earlier, Mr. Sandi, they talk about the sectorial level, we talk about transportation and energy. We talk about new transformers where through the Ministry of Energy, government don't begin for install a different area them. But apart from then transformer, then the area then they will get functioning transformer where nothing no do them, but then still they suffer blackouts.
Yes, like I say, not to overnight. As much as na government aspiration, you know, Minister Alhaji Kanja go on for sleep and no say every household in this country get light. But also remember say it generates the power and for distribute the power back now other issue, you know. Because remember say then go for change some of the line them and all that kind of thing then they. But over and beyond that, what we don't see, we don't also realize say even on the issue of mini grids, you know, we get, for instance, about 50 mini grids and 4 smaller pilot systems where they don't build now 54 chiefdom health centers, them, you know, for provide light. So, what are they saying in essence? Now that, yes, there are challenges. We will like for make everything solve overnight. But like the president say, we are not saying Rome was not built in a day, you know. But you get a government, and this is the important thing, Khadija. You get a government we're sincere about what they do, we're honest about the challenges, and that is why what you don't know, I'm not going to tell you anything when I lie. Because then go for all we accountable when we get to elections.
With the too much grumble of blackouts, where they now na the city. And this same car power ship, now in presidents being governments be meet and they give lights na the city, where then 10 and the 24 hours lights been there. As of now, how much government they pay to the car power ship?
Like I say, I don't tell you the specific, I don't get the specific amount way that they pay to the car power ship. But all I can tell you, Yusuf know, and that is why I can always want to go back. When we come, we initially met a contract which was fraudulent, something where it was really bad. We'll come, we can look into them, we can review them, and able to make government save lots of money, millions of dollars.
Contract, yes. Where you say una meet, where una look into them. under that bad contract, 9 people maybe they get 24 hours light.
Yes, but nobody get 24 hours light every day.
Na free time.
No, it never possible.
Keke na free time me and you dey.
Khadija, listen. Me in a free time. There is no point in time where you say, for instance, for 1 year, they get 24 hours light. Okay? Yes.
Well,
light
midday, I be they get 24 hours light.
At the camp, Khadija. Light be day. Okay? Light be day. And now, light safety. But like I tell you, certain areas them, the reason why they get light is not because of any other issue than the vandalism what they do to some of the transmitter them. Because if you're in a community, they don't go put transmitter.
That area of thief transmitter, Mr. Sandi, not for be a grounds, because the area themselves where they get proper functioning transmitter, then they get blackout.
Yes. Even when before we come blackout be day. So blackouts and lights, no, they can change overnight. But what they tell you is that areas them way not be they get light. Okay, government don't try to get the infrastructure for care go day. Okay, so we got to change the culture in the first place where we vandalize government property. Like I tell you, Alaji Kanja or the president go out for sleep and no say lighting at every household, but he involve money. And because he involve money, okay, and we get other competing priorities, we get to take as a process slowly until we get to that stage. Now I make government they do all they can for me to look at alternative power them. So for instance, I tell you about the mini grids, what they do across the country for chiefdoms the way for the very first time get light. For the very first time don't get light through them project then they. So this now a caring government, now a president to be compassionate and we think say after 5 years we go offer ourselves again to the people and tell them it will.
So during the president's in media rounds, the session we been get with Chile Democracy, a question was posed to him as to what he can do during leisure time, and he say he can take a drive round for talk to the people and one. And when I be asked him that the waiting the people and don't tell him about waiting and think about in administration, he really accept to the fact say the people are not happy. He been talked that one day at the studio. So the 2 years we don't live. Waiting different the presidency and administration wants for do for let the people them happy as he been promised and say he wants for say happy people where they make up a happy nation.
Well, president care about every Sierra Leonean, okay? And when he tell you say he want for make people happy, also because he just want to make them as a campaign discussion, but because he genuinely mean them what they do. Remember say we don't launch boku projects them. Okay, so for instance, I'll give you an example. We don't go commission the airport, the expansion. So in the next 2 years, you get to see a brand new airport. So these are infrastructural projects and things that we don't start. Where by the time we get to elections, these are things that we go in fruition. You go begin to see the edifice of them. So even the Rombe project for agriculture, 54 million. But we know say by the time we will count to the 2 years, you go don't begin to see outcome of them till then day. As I talk to you now, we don't already pre-position over 400 tractors and more than 2,000 implements, agricultural implements across the district. By the time we will come to elections, you can begin to see dividends of all within government.
When they come to elections, why we need to wait for election period?
No, but you tell me say from now to 2 years, okay? Even this year, you know about the CLSG project we get for Gidline to Boku communities them by June 2021. Then they go don't complete.
You talk
so
about
for
the
instance,
200. You talk about the 200 Boston just now.
Yes,
they signed that contract in 2018, and this is now 2021. What's the status now?
That is not correct again. So like I say, some of the stuff that we want to talk, they are factually inaccurate. They never signed 200 buses 2018. Okay, that contract was only signed last year. Okay, because I know about that project. So, but the point why they make now this, we save for make we help people and for make they understand. Oh, the country don't. Oh, get the facts then small. Yeah.
All right. So they try to wrap up the program now because of time. Quickly, Mr. Sandi, how President Bio in administration go work for ensure say he implements the remaining projects them where they are the new direction manifesto and self the one the way it don't start and complete there within the 2 years in 1 minute, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Dija. I think say we will continue for work with the same sincerity with the president always don't start. We will continue. Ministers themselves know say now that we for dinner at the stage. President don't talk to the oral. Tell them say now we get for do things that way people they see more and we get the feel and touch. because I think that they're important. So in the next 2 years, we go look forward to now for see more teachers being recruited, more nurses being recruited. We get to see the completion of the expansion of the Lunge International Airport. We also get to see the completion of the ultra modern hospital when at the village in Cape Town. We go also look for see increased production in terms of food, rice, because of the 54 million project Narumbe and the 64 million project of Tomabom. We go also get for the CC, we get the good impact of the MCC compact development that in the next 2 years, I think, say we don't go far ahead with our day. We go also importantly, see the establishment of the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion don't take footing as well. Right. And then the electrification of the districts them back as well, with the Minister of Energy do. Right. So there is hope. Okay. And people have to be assured, say, this is the president we care about them, and president we think, say, in a servant of the people and want for work for them.
All right, thank you very much, Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, for we come to the program, can talk about the remaining 2 years of His Excellency the President and how we're going to ensure he completes the programs them where he been promised Salone people inside the New Direction Manifesto. Now they end the program Good Monin Salone. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Koman and then produce the program. DJ Ahmad give technical support. Moses Kavora and Usman Kamara and they make una watch we live now Facebook page. Mina Khadija Bangura they say have a nice day.
And Mabel Kabade say goodbye.